You may not know that you have a drinking problem until you do this little checklist. Do you think about alcohol when you're not drinking it? Do you spend a lot of time drinking alcohol? Do you ever wonder if you have a drinking problem? Do you feel like you need a vacation from your vacation? Do you feel like your children are an inconvenience for you? Do you feel like you want to prioritize socializing that revolves around alcohol? Do you feel like you miss out on other opportunities and pastimes and hobbies because you are drinking alcohol? Do you feel like you miss out on fitness because you're prioritizing alcohol? If you answered yes to any of those, you could be an alcoholic or you could just be a disordered drinker. You don't have to call yourself any title you don't want to. Personally, I find it helpful to say alcoholic because alcohol was a problem for me. I drank all the time, and I basically committed to heavy drinking for over 2 decades of my life. Committed to because it was my whole identity. Some people call themselves a dancer. Some people call themselves a bartender or an actor. I was literally a party girl. I was a drinker. Even though I had other things going on, I prioritized relationships that revolved around it, and I prioritized alcohol as the singular pastime in everything, whether it was a walk on the beach, brunch, dinner at a friend's couch for wine, girls' night, mom's night. Alcohol was always the priority, and I never believed that there was a life outside of alcohol. So this is your sign, if you're seeing this video now, that you don't have to hit rock bottom. If alcohol is making you lose quality of your life, you are free to stop drinking. You don't owe anybody drinking. You don't owe tequila in your margarita on vacation. You don't owe red wine at a girls' night. You don't owe anyone anything. For so many of us, there's a massive social obligation tied up in it. You feel like you are not socially worthy if you are not drinking because you feel like you need that to connect with other people. And that is truly the biggest lie that I ever believed in my entire life. And I believed many of them that alcohol told me. So this is just your sign. If you're scrolling TikTok tonight and you're like, I'm feeling, confused about wanting alcohol, but then when you have alcohol, you feel shitty, that's a sign that you could be ready to give up drinking, because alcohol is supposed to be fun. And early in the lifespan of addiction, when you drink, it is fun. But later on in the cycle, if you've been using it for years and years, whether it be heavy or part-time, it stops being fun and it starts causing more problems. It starts causing you to burn out, be overweight, be up and down with your moods, be anxious, depressed, thinking about alcohol. Moderation drinking never worked for me. Whenever I tried to moderate my drinking, it sucked. I couldn't do it. I was just physically not built that way. Some people can have one drink and be fine. I just wasn't that person. And when I would have one drink, I would just have one drink often. So I was still drinking so many times a week. And everything was tied up in that for me. So it was so much easier when I finally decided I don't want to have this at all in my life, because this trying to juggle who I'm drinking with on what day is exhausting. You might be going through something similar, and if you are, that is completely normal, and it is so common. It is more common than you think. You'll find so many people in the sober community on here that have been exactly where you are in your shoes. So please don't feel alone. Alcohol wants you alone. It wants you alone and drinking. So if you are alone drinking, or you feel like you need to be with other people all the time and drinking, I understand, and you've come to the right place. And this is your message, that you don't have to keep going. You can find a way to stop, and you can stop today. Today can be your last day. If you're truly at the end of your rope, which I got to, I highly recommend it, because your life will be 1,000,000 times better. Even though alcohol tells you it will be lonely, it will be hard, it will be isolated, it's the opposite. Addiction is truly choosing that one thing over everything else in your life. So if you do yourself the favor of self-love and put down the bottle, you will never look back. And you feel free to check in here and send me a DM if you're struggling.